One Mind Productions.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Psycho Worldwide, in association with One Mind Entertainment, proudly brings to you two of the greatest podcast hosts in the world. I am Crazy Kevin. He is Dan Jones, and we are two fat guys podcast. What it do? What it do? What it do? What's popping? Was good? And we got our sister, your girl Chris. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. We got Miss
Yeah,
Chris on the show with us tonight. She is joining us tonight. She is the host of Coffee and Tea, who did launch their second season a couple Fridays ago. So it
I
is
do.
live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. So go check it out. It was the I can't remember the title, but it was a dynamic couple, married couple who owns several successful businesses, and y'all should go check it out. So if you are a couple and you're trying to figure out how to work it with your marriage or your relationship in the business side, go check that
Oh, all right.
episode out. It is on Coffee and Tea live on Facebook right now. So shout out to Chris. Thank you for joining us. My boy Dan, what's
Yo,
poppin'?
man, so crazy weekend, bro. I
Crazy
must
weekend.
say, shout out to the junior Showtime Dan, who was officially a part of the Shenandoah Hornets. He got his acceptance letter, and he's officially committed yesterday.
Give me air horn. Give me
Yeah,
air horn. Man.
and within the next year, guess where I'm going?
Guess where you going? Where you going?
Back to Maryland.
Back to Maryland. What you moving back to Maryland?
Hey, bro,
Are
it's a
you moving?
3.5 hour drive. It's a 3.5 hour drive to Shenandoah, bro. If I can move to Maryland, it's only an hour and 10 minutes. I'm
Oh
cutting
Lord.
that short, bro.
Oh Lord. You talking about the two fat guys in the same place at the same time?
Yeah.
Lord, the level
Yeah.
of shenanigans that's getting ready to happen in real life, not just
Oh,
on.
you have knows out there. Shout out to Courtney for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Courtney, for tuning in. How you doing today? Hope you had a beautiful charity out here. Matter of fact, speaking of Maryland, Courtney's back in Maryland, so shout out. She took the move back from St. Louis, so welcome back home. Welcome back to Baltimore. That's how we say it here,
Who?
Baltimore.
Who back?
I'm sorry, what?
Who back?
Courtney.
When she leave?
Oh, 8 years ago.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, she
Okay.
back now.
All right. Welcome
She back
back.
now. Full in effect.
I realize my face is smooth as hell, bro.
Professor Snoop. What? How the what?
Fish is smooth as hell.
Your face is smooth as hell.
Smooth as hell, boy.
And you know what,
Why?
bro?
And you're
You know what? I ain't
and you're
gonna front.
glossy. You're glossy.
I ain't gonna front. I started
I'm trying
using
to tell
native.
you.
I started using
Who?
native. Native.
Why?
Cause it actually works. It's good.
Oh.
It's only like 7 ingredients, and my skin ain't never been flawless until now. Like
Oh,
e-
this is all shea
e-
butter and honey.
even facial hair, now this is like coconut and vanilla. I'm telling you.
This is nothing but juices and berries.
Yeah. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Courtney said smooth baby face. Oh, she said
Yeah.
she was back for you, Dan.
Huh?
Oh, back for good. My bad. I misread that. I apologize. I misread that.
Boy, you was getting ready to start some stuff in here.
She said, I'm
Ooh,
See,
back for good. I'm back for good. My bad. I'm
welcome back.
sorry.
Welcome
I
back to
apologize.
Birdland. Welcome back to Birdland. I'll be back up there soon.
Yeah, you gotta come and visit because before you move back, you supposed to come visit in a couple weeks because
Man,
uh
listen.
I got
I'm working on getting this car right.
me and well, excuse me, proper English. The moderator and myself have something for you, and you were given orders that you have to come and get it. I can't ship it to you. Moderator says you must come and get it. So you were made aware of this. Shout out to my brother and Najee, aka Dick Clark, for tuning in. Shout out to my brother Robert Gross. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. We are going to
Bro,
be talking about yes, gross. Gross. Why are you acting special?
why are we so
I
angry
said,
so early?
I'm grown with your DMX voice having that.
You know what? Because I am grown. I'll be 47 years old this year, brother. I'm
I
full
said,
grown.
Oh God, you will
I
be
said,
old.
me. Your moderator ain't gonna talk to me like that. I'm
And your
grown.
moderator gonna talk to you. First of all, you're lucky she ain't here yet. She ain't get off work yet. So you
That's that Drake
like
mess right
30
there.
minutes
Go
before
ahead.
you get put in time out.
I'm gonna take advantage while she's not here. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, shout out. We are going to be talking about Craven the Hunter. And was Craven the Hunter misjudged? But before we get into that, some sad news in the world of professional boxing and also in the black community. We lost a legend in the ring.
Under there catching the book. Man, listen. You trying to
Look,
save my life and give me good food? Come on now.
nah, man, it was yeah. So shout out to the Foreman family. You are in our prayers and thoughts. Um, we are definitely going to miss him. If you have not seen his movie, please go see it. It's a very good documentary movie, biopic that he did. Shout out to Nah. What's up? What's good with you, bro?
Yeah,
It's
you
a
know what's
and
great happened, right?
there's also hold on real quick, bro. And there's also a documentary out that he did. And one part of it is actually kind of interesting because he had forgot all about the George Foreman girl. He thought he just got paid a couple times off of it. To come to find out, he was getting residuals. Had no idea. No idea he was getting residuals. And boom. And boom. I just wanted to always ask him, man, why'd you name on your damn kids George? But
That's hilarious to me. And then I actually was out with some friends earlier, right before coming on the show, and one of those friends reminded me that he had a daughter too.
Oh
Georgina,
Lord,
Georgetta, or something
Georgina.
like that. Yeah,
Yes,
Georgina.
Georgina. I was like, why?
that's the only name he can remember at the boxing all them years. George.
No, shut up. Don't do that. Don't do
Don't
that.
do that.
No. No.
Not at all.
We're not doing it. We're not
Too
gonna
early.
disrespect that
Too
man, yo.
early.
We
Look,
are
Too early.
not
too early,
doing it.
too early, too
Wait,
soon.
wait,
Too soon,
yeah,
Dan.
too soon.
Oh, I'm
Too
gonna shoot
soon.
my shot. Give me a little bit. He ain't safe either.
Sometimes shooting your shot is not necessary, sir. Sometimes you just need to hold the ball. Go sit your ass on the bench. Go sit on the bench for a little while and get yourself
Wow.
together.
We done
Okay.
started with the language already. Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. Lord
This is in the
Jesus.
Bible.
Shit is not in the Bible.
It is in the Bible, and the Bible is referred to as a donkey. They use the word ass in the Old Testament to refer to a donkey.
Here he go. One of y'all cussing me out of all the biblical letters. Come on now. I slapped the Deuteronomy out you.
Slash the Deuteronomy.
Y'all going too far now. Too far.
I didn't say that. He said that.
Too far.
I know my
Smack the
limit.
Leviticus out
Too
you.
far. Too far.
I'm gonna exodus your butt up out of here real quick. Keep playing with me.
Too far. Too far.
Yeah, we gotta keep that party going. That was fun.
I
Yes,
need for
sir.
y'all. I need for y'all to get a revelation. Too far. Too far.
It's all about the numbers.
What?
It's all about the numbers.
It's all about the numbers. I mean, it was 3 different Johns. I'm just saying though.
Mm-mm-mm.
Can we get all right? We're back. I'm sorry, folks. If we didn't offend the whole community of Christian folk, we're sorry.
Yep. I'm going down, Shrek.
Oh my God.
On the whole
So
elevator.
hello, Mimi Smith. Thank you for joining us, everyone. And hi, everyone. Peace and blessings to you, ma'am. Also, thank you for
About
joining
time
us.
you joined Mimi.
Oh, so you know Mimi?
Yeah. I
Oh,
designed a couple of book covers for her. She an author.
okay. Gotta have on bosses. Need to talk to her.
Mm-hmm. Oh
All
boy.
right.
Here we go.
There we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got some stuff for season 3. We already cooking. We in the kitchen right now cooking season 3. Yup. This man, forget a hot summer. It's gonna be a sweaty spring. I promise you.
Do I
It's gonna
need
be
to
over.
excuse myself from this show? Because y'all.
Oh no, you stay
All
right here
right.
in the middle. Stay in the
So
middle.
as we said, we are going to be talking about Craven and was this movie misjudged? So she's laughing. Mimi put some laughs up. So we are going to get into the first question. Um, yeah, we're gonna get into the first question. So the first question for this is: was this story told correctly? So
Lady in the room.
I'm going to give the ball to Chris on this one because I've just seen Craven today. So y'all can go ahead and judge me in the comments. It's fine. I saw it for the first time today because you know what? I got tired of talking about movies. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna be a spectator on this. I didn't want to be a spectator no more. So I upgraded my Netflix subscription so I could watch the movie and screw Netflix for having movies behind a paywall. But it's gonna be a rant for a whole nother show. All I
So
wanted to do was pay $8 so I could watch Raw. Now I'm paying 19.
you
Some
can't. Yeah,
people, it's
you
possible.
can't do that. But that's the unplug wars or whatever they streaming wars or
Right.
whatever.
Shout out to Brian. Thank you for joining in. Brian
Hey,
Johnston,
Brian.
and out in the
That's the
community.
community, Brian.
Oh, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
community.
community, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. Oh, we definitely want to need you for season 3.
Yeah, so go ahead, Chris. Do you think this movie was told correctly?
So, from what I know of the comic, and I know Brian will probably tell me if I'm right or wrong, since he's the comic book buff. Like I know there are certain aspects of it that were
Say he in
told.
the house.
Yeah.
So he not out for
He's
once. He
not
in the
out in the
house.
community, he in the house.
Yeah.
Um, that there were certain aspects of it that were told kind of similar to the comic. So like his interaction with Calypso was kind of uh towards the comic. The chameleon, the backstory, though it ended up kind of swaying towards what you saw in the comic. It wasn't exactly like how he became the chameleon in the comic. The same thing with the rhino. So there were aspects of it that were told right or almost right, but this thing with the Sony Marvel situation, like they always telling stuff like halfway and then trying to find some creative process to make it their own, but they don't ever get it like to that point.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I honestly I agree with it because there were certain parts when you look at it, it's like it's gonna be based off similar points in the comic books, but sometimes like it's me personally because I've read a lot of them. It's like okay, it's certain parts that you would know it's not you're too early for certain things in this movie. You're way too early. Like the thing with the spiders was way too early.
Way too early.
Way too early. You don't get the Spider Man until after a long, long time. Like by the time he gets there, Peter Parker should be like 23. But it was certainly that was way too early. And I think on behalf of what Chris said that because of Sony and Marvel, Sony, I'm gonna always be on Marvel side because Sony's being petty and what they doing with the Spider-Man characters. You're only going to put pieces of it in there. You got to put a piece of Spider-Man in there. That movie had nothing to do with Spider-Man, but yet we see his logo, spiders falling down from the sky. You can be in a movie theater like, what? What kind of drugs did you on? You on the jungle, and the last thing you worried about is a spider. You can lay on the flower and die, and you worried about a spider. So it was certain things. The Calypso situation, I loved it. I loved it. Other parts of it, it was cool, but it should have stayed a little more to the comic book, and it was just too early for certain things.
And I think they do that a lot with the villains, especially in the Spider-Man space. Like they're trying to introduce too many of them all at one time, and it just never works out right.
Yeah, I think when they did Spider-Man 3 was when they had Venom and Sandman was
Hmm.
probably the best one ever to introduce the characters because the storyline fits so well with both of them at the same time. That even in the video game, they're together, Spider-Man and Venom and Sandman. They're together, but as far as this one, after seeing Madam Web, which should have been the very first one before we got to all this, then it would have made better sense if they did that first. So I'm gonna reach on that later on in life, but I'm gonna need y'all with me on that one.
Yeah.
So me being an outsider, just actually walking through the door for the first time, for me, it seemed like that everything. I could tell that it didn't line up for somebody who never read the comic, and that's just from me watching Sony put out Marvel based IP and how they kind of go scattered all over the place trying to do too much in too little time. And I felt like even just watching it, somebody who's never read the comics, I felt like, well, this doesn't seem like it's proper. Like this seems kind of rushed. Like you really like if it wasn't for the fact that I saw Rhino before he became Rhino, I probably wouldn't know who Rhino was. Saying that
Mm-hmm.
he was the person trying to work with his father in the beginning. So that was the only background I had of Rhino.
Mm.
Um,
It was like, go ahead,
the
you want.
chameleon threw me off though. I'm not even gonna lie, like that, but it was also kind of expected. Like you get pushed and pushed into a point. You're like, you know what? I don't want to be pushed no more. You're like, you not only gonna notice me, you're gonna notice my different sides of me now, and
But if
and what I
you
can do.
if you remember in the movie, like he had talked about when he was a kid, like he wanted it was something either like he wanted to impersonate people or he wanted to be able to like, you know, change into like different types of people. And then when he gets
Mm-hmm.
older and he's singing in his father's club or whatever, he's singing like whoever the song belongs to. So like he did like a Harry Styles song or whatever, and he sound like
Mm-hmm.
dead ringer for this guy. And
And you
then
know what's funny? I didn't notice that until the end of the movie when he was talking with his brother before he revealed himself as a chameleon. When he
mhm,
was saying this, the and only reason I know the hook is from the Eminem song "Going Through Changes." And when I heard him
Mm-hmm.
singing, I was like, "That's the actual vocal from
mhm,
like the
Yeah.
actual song and the sample." And
But it's
then
like
it
he was
made me
saying,
think
he was
back to
doing
that
the
Harry Styles song that damn, that was Harry Styles' voice.
yeah,
Okay, so that's his thing. That's his like he wants to be other people. He wants to be people who has courage.
yeah. Because like he says it over there, he's not a fighter.
Right.
He's not a fighter. He can beat you with his mind or impersonate. You remember through the whole thing when he was kids, he was impersonating their father.
yep,
And every time they turn around, was like, to be the best, you have to be the hunter. And he was like, you sound just like him. Because it
mhm.
was messing me up too for a minute. I'm like, why is he saying, oh. I think he was the most creative character out of all of them.
I would have to agree with you on that one. The way that they set, though it wasn't exactly like the comic, the way that they progressed his story and how, like,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it was the most well thought out thought throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, most definitely. I saluted that when they did that for him. I'm like, okay, you knew the oldest one was going to be Craven, but what about the younger one? The youngest one has to be the crash out, and he didn't crash out physically. He crashed out using all that he know how to do. Just like
Right.
a chameleon, I'm gonna blend in. I'm gonna blend in everywhere. So one minute you might be thinking you're talking to your moms, but you're really talking to me. So that was the weirdest part about it, but I liked it the whole time. Kevin, where you go?
No, it looks like he always disappeared whenever stuff happened.
He's just petty. He's petty.
It's just ridiculous. He invites me to a show and then he just disappears on me. Like, what kind of job?
He's right. You're a terrible host. You invite us to the party, then you leave. Tell me you gotta go to the
I
market.
know. Just ridiculous.
See, that
He
is, you
worse,
know what
look,
happened?
he worse
You're
than
not blending
Naeem.
in, sir. You are not a chameleon. You're not a chameleon, sir. You're supposed to blend in.
You are not, sir, at
You're
all.
not a chameleon, sir, at all. I think with the chameleon, when he started getting too much power, was during the end. You
I
couldn't
agree.
really you couldn't really understand him at first, but then you understood the fact that he was bullied, and then he had to take responsibility for when the brother was gone. So now that whole 10, 12 years span, you taking all these butt whoopings for your older brother because he wants to be on the run killing people. And then when you
Fact.
find that he's craving, you're like, bro, no, that ain't him. That ain't my brother. Your brother going over here and biting people's ears off, bro. He's hungry. What's the next question, Kev?
Like, who is at the door?
I'm trying to open
Huh?
the door now, and you know what? Since he not out in the community today, that's our brother.
Oh,
Y'all really thought y'all was gonna
Uh-oh.
talk about
Since he
comic
not
books and
out in
not
the
have me on
community
here?
today,
Y'all really thought
Uh-oh.
y'all was gonna talk
Uh-oh.
about comic books and not have me on here?
Brian, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Brian Johnston, to the show with his simply lemonade bottle.
who is absolutely thirsty?
I don't think that's lemonade in that bottle. It's the weekend.
Or at least not
It's the
100%.
weekend.
At
It
least
would
not
be out in the
100%
open if it
lemonade.
wasn't.
He's sipping for the community.
I can't be. Listen, I got my God is dope T-shirt on. I can't be.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
That's
Look,
only a shirt.
I'm gonna tell you what unsanctified people will say. Jesus brought the
The
wine to the
third
party.
one.
Oh, dang. That was great. Showing them say that. Wow.
Okay?
Mm-mm-mm.
The
That's what them
most.
unsanctified
Going
folk be
on,
saying.
ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing this evening?
I'm doing
Welcome to the
fine.
show.
That was a lot of water, Chris.
All right,
Gotta, gotta stay thirsty.
gotta stay thirsty. You know, no, 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 no,
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
no, 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 no.
This is what
Uh,
happens when you get
Naeem,
direct.
I'm just joking, Naeem. I'm just joking.
This is what happens.
Nope, nope, nope. This is post worthy. Our brother in Oz Naeem says, I had to pull over. Act first. What you mean? He worse than Naeem. LOL. What I do?
Nothing, Naeem. You was just too quiet in the comments, so I had to pick on you. That's all.
The man driving. Like,
I didn't know that, so that's
I
why I
don't get
apologize.
trying to obey.
I
The laws of
apologize.
the traffic, the traffic laws of the land. But Mr. Johnston, I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
pose the same question to you, sir, which you probably heard while you was in standby. Was this story told correctly?
Craven,
Craven.
y'all want to know something? I haven't seen it yet.
Uh-oh.
You haven't seen Craven?
I refuse to watch it.
Why?
Okay, why?
So
Because he know it ain't adapted.
I heard it's the better one out of the Sony universe compared outside of Venom. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet. Some, I mean, we all know Craven's story, but I think some stories, again, just shouldn't be told. Like we know enough about Craven, where I didn't think his story was enough to carry a whole movie. Same with Morbius. Same with the Joker. I don't think those movies should have been a whole movie. But yeah, I haven't seen Craven yet. I said I'm gonna watch it now that it's on Netflix.
But see, you bring up a good point though. These movies wasn't for us per se.
Right, it wasn't.
If you really look at them, it was just for so Sony don't get sued and they can't take the character away from them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if
It
you
made the
look at
movies to
each
hold
one
on
of
to the
them
rights.
movies, right? If you look at each one of the movies, Spider-Man was not in none of the movies. He was a picture on like the Daily Bugle or something like that, but his physical presence was not there in none
Right.
of the movies. Even in Madam Web, we knew that her child was going
Mm.
to be
Not
Peter
gonna talk
Parker.
about that. Not gonna talk about
Oh
that.
no, we ain't
Oh,
gonna
we're
talk about
not
that.
gonna
That's a
talk
great.
about that. Oh, we're
That's
not gonna
one of the
talk.
best ones.
In what
Bad. It was
world?
bad writing, bad dialogue, but it was a good movie. I give it like a 3.5 Spades hand, a 3 and a possible.
That's too much.
Like I said, for someone who didn't read the comics, like I didn't get into comics until like probably till I met like Brian and them in high school. I really wasn't into comics like that.
See,
Um,
there's all these directional schools on here.
what?
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, directional schools.
Watch your mouth.
What are you talking about, Bob Rex? What?
Directional.
Northern,
Northern.
northern, northern,
Oh,
Mouth.
southern.
oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. You
Chris got all
okay?
hostile on me.
God,
I'm
no.
a,
It's
you know
three of us.
what?
It's three of us on here. Don't do it.
It's not even that, yo. People just have this over in this thing that come from Northern. Like people don't come from Southern. People don't come from Southwestern. It is something about Northern, and maybe people come from Lake. I mean, because Lake had like the STD thing and the school was sinking. But other than that, people always came from Northern, yo. Don't know why. We ain't bother nobody. We ain't going around the other schools beating up people. We was minding our own damn business, having our own shootouts. But when you
That was southern.
realize,
Yeah, keep in
yeah,
mind, we were the ones that shot at the. We were the one that shot at the president.
y'all did.
That's true.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's not something to brag about, though.
All we did was beat up Ray J.
Yeah, we did. We beat up
Hey,
Brandy's brother.
We beat up Ray J.
I remember
And
that.
stole his chain.
Yeah,
Good.
boy. He ain't been back to Baltimore since.
Good for
See how
him.
you act now.
These
He
are dance.
I'm,
goes.
These
He
are dance
said,
thoughts and
he,
dance
I'm
thoughts alone.
okay.
y'all
I'm sorry.
snatched his chain, and he said, "Wait a minute."
Oh, dang, you're not
Yeah,
alone, yo. Nope. You got our man Anthony. Our man Anthony Oliver, Southwestern.
Oh yeah,
Southwestern.
I know that's my boy right. All these directional schools. And the thing, I went to Southern because of him. And then he transferred. He
Oh,
moved and was like, "Well, I go to Southwestern."
wait. Y'all beat up Richie.
It was in the
Huh?
newspaper.
So, all right, real quick at me. So, 96, 96. Brandy came to the school. This is when Brandy was like sitting in my room. That song, all right. So she
It was
came
an
out to the
Earthquake
school, did some promotional
concert.
thing. Yeah,
Trash.
right. It was a promotional concert about global warming or something, but it was for her to be out in the community and to touch people. So for whatever reason, Brandy sitting in our auditorium, sitting on the edge of the stage, and she was like, she said something, and we really didn't react. And she was like, "Oh, what? I can't get no love. Y'all don't love." Kind of like how Snoop Dogg
Which
did the Sense Awards. Like, when
Bum
schools
rush.
can't get. So she did that, and we just bone rushed the stage to show her love. Now, in Ray J's defense, he's trying to defend his sister, okay? But you cannot defend your sister against 300
You gotta let it
black
go.
kids.
YNs.
Yeah.
Black kids. I'm trying to be politically correct here. 300 black kids. Okay. So we just both run to school. And I just remember somebody popping. I'm not going to say that person's name because they do watch the podcast and they all part, of the Northern alumni page. But yeah, pop Ray J. And then there's somebody else pop Ray J. And then somebody else pop Ray J. And that's when when the smoke settled, Ray J was gone, but Brandy was still sitting on the stage.
Sitting up on the stage.
And at
Got
this
me
time,
thinking
we didn't
about
know who Ray
who.
J was. We barely knew, but we just knew Brandy was the girl from the TV show Thea. Now she has her own song. Second, we didn't know who Brandy was.
Not Phil, bro.
Yeah, Thea. How else did you know Brandy, yo?
I can't believe y'all raw. Y'all beat up Moesha's brother.
Yes, we been Mauritius. Real brother, not the TV brother. Yes, Courtney, that is Brandy's brother. Yes. Yes,
I
welcome to the
mean,
show.
he ended up being like her real brother on her show on Moesha.
Yeah. Yeah, like a illegitimate brother at that.
Yes.
Hey, look, you see, he ain't want no parts of Q. Q probably reminded him of somebody in Baltimore.
And you know what? You know he hung out here a lot too. Frederick Starr hung
Q,
out in
yeah, he
Baltimore a
did.
lot.
Absolutely.
All right, back to the show. So back to the show, and I hope that answered your question, Anthony. Um, what did they do wrong?
Mm.
Told the story.
All right, so I'm gonna go from like I said. For somebody who's just coming into this, and I didn't like really read the comics. From what I can tell, the timeline seems off, and that's just from me. The timeline seems off. Um, I feel like it's a lot of stuff that was missing, and from what I'm hearing from what you guys are saying, it is. So I think that's what they did wrong. Oh, she was quoting the song. My bad, Courtney. She was quoting the song from the Little Kim song. Isn't that Brandy's little brother? Um.
Working all day.
If I had one wish, it would be for us to stay on topic. Uh yeah, I did that. So it was for me, like I said, it felt like it was stuff missing. Um, it felt rushed, and I felt like I still didn't get a lot of character development for me. As far as like, yeah, we know their father was a douche, but why was their mother locked up? Why was she in the asylum? That's what piqued my interest. Like I want to know why his mother was going through the mental health and why his father was like your mother was sick in the mind and this, that, and the third. So for me, I didn't get the character development that I would have liked.
You put your
We're gonna
hand.
get to you, Brian. Give me a second.
They see
Oh,
you.
he put his hand up right in front.
Yes, he did. The young urchin in the front row.
You was the guys who held your hand like this, holding.
Go ahead, Brian.
You on mute, yo.
Oh, thing the thing about these movies, whether it was Venom, Madam Web, Craven Hunter, Morbius, you can't tell a Spider-Man villain movie without Spider-Man. And that's where they got this wrong. The reason why there's so many plot holes and miscues, because a lot of their backstory, their story itself, it involves Spider-Man. So you can't tell a villain. I mean, for as good as Venom One was, can't really tell a villain movie without Spider-Man. You can't really tell a Morbius movie without Spider-Man. Kraven the Hunter. There's for all the comics I read, you never see anything or hear anything about his father or his mother. That was created for the sake of the story. That's why, Kevin, you had those plot holes as to why this, because they had no backstory, they had no reading material to go off on.
No real substance to the story.
Right, like they're creating like these movies, these movies aren't made for comic book lovers. These movies was made for the sake of making comic book movies. The difference, like I think the upcoming Superman movie is going to be made for comic book lovers and those who like comic book movies. These Sony pictures, they was made for the sake of making movies.
So, real quick, Naeem said the mother gave me the same vibes the younger son has, just amplified. She went nuts. The son went villain.
And that's another thing. Craven didn't have siblings in the comic. There was no siblings. It's just Craven. Like
Chameleon and they best friends, weren't they?
they weren't even best friends. They was two separate villains. They just happened to be on the Sinister Six at
Mm-hmm.
the last time, at one time. But they have no correlation with each other. Like, yeah. See, now you're gonna make me watch this movie later tonight. Just
Man,
off
listen,
GP.
you're gonna have to, and I bet by the end of that movie, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god."
Shout out to Sean, my Caucasian brother from another mother. So shout out to you, Sean. Thank you for joining us, my brother. Naeem also said, right, we cared less about his father till he got eaten.
Yeah,
Man, listen. What they got wrong for me was about 90% of the movie.
yeah.
It just felt like the time, like I said before, the timing was off. I think this movie should be coming out if they was gonna do a whole movie. If not, I would rather this be like an HBO special. Give me episodes because even though Craven doesn't have a lot to prove to show in his comic books, he has a lot in general
Kevin go.
information just because of the fact that he's linked to Spider-Man.
Right.
So I'm thinking if you give the whole list of villains that Spider-Man is connected to, it's about almost 30, 40 people. It's a lot of people. That's including the Punisher and Daredevil. And they got their own Netflix show, well, Disney Plus. That's why it's the struggle between Sony and Marvel is getting too serious now. It's getting out of hand. Because now you're just making movies for the bag and not for the information of it. Because you got the timeline is already ruined when you put Morbius out there, and then another movie, and then you jump to Madam Web, and then you jump back to Craven. If Madam Web would have been first, a lot of these would have made sense. It was just a difference, and that's my reason why Madam Web didn't make sense at all because you're about 10 years too late. We done got mad. If she'd have came out before we got Peter Parker in Civil War, it would have made a difference.
Naeem says the movie was good, not being complete or accurate. Even not being complete or accurate. The fight scenes was just tough.
Now,
So
that would have been my comment. Like
Yeah.
I have issues not only with the story, but I have issues with the way that they went about making the movie. Like just a lot of the CGI stuff that they added to it. Some of the stuff didn't make sense. Um, like the location that they went to where they said they was in Ghana, but you ain't see you didn't see the right scenery. Like they put trees that you find in the Serengeti, which is more towards like the western side of Africa, but they was in Ghana and you see the same trees. Those trees don't even grow in Ghana. Like you seeing lions and snow leopards and all that kind of stuff, they wouldn't be in that portion of the country. So like make it make sense. However, like I think the fight scenes redeemed it. It to me was one of the gorier of the villain
Oh,
movies by far, just because of Craven, and I think they amped that up because of who the character is. So that might have been its only redeeming quality for me.
So for me, it was I didn't like the CGI with the animals. The fight scenes was great, but I can look at this lion, this oversized lion, and completely tell. And I get it, but it looked fake to me.
Yeah,
And
but
I
I,
was
I,
watching
I
this,
agree with you.
and I was watching this on high definition television, so
Yeah,
it looked extra fake to me. So I mean, it looked extra fake to me. And then when he had the little fight with the leopard, uh, on the land that used to belong to his mother's family, that was random. That was random as hell. Like, okay. And even what at the beginning of the movie when he escaped from the Russian prison and he walked through that snowstorm, windstorm, whatever. That was
yeah.
like, dude, seriously, that looks
I,
cheesy. And Sony, y'all should be able to be do better than this.
Well, even
let me just
before
point
that,
out. Go ahead.
even
Let me just
before
point out
that,
something
when
for you.
when he came out the prison and he rolled back the
The
steel
dirt,
guard that was in the ceiling, that doesn't even make sense in physics. Like,
so
help
from
me
what
make
I'm
that make
hearing, it's a good movie, but it should have been a Craven movie. If it was named anything else but Craven, it would probably have
Yeah,
been a good movie.
we want him
yeah,
become the hunter.
yeah. That's literally what happened because it starts off with him killing some Russian mob boss that's in prison, and then it backtracks 18 years or something like that to when him and his brother were kids.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The people that he's
So
killing are all connected to his dad.
And that's
They were
because
all
his
connected
dad
to his
wanted him to
dad.
take
Yeah,
over the business or whatever.
and it's a part in the beginning with Chris pointed out in the jail part was first of all when you look at the part he's on the ceiling and there's a guy in the computer glitch walking through the wall,
Yes, his foot is all the way through the wall.
and I had to look at it again like what. Did he just walk through the wall and then he came back? Maybe this is the chameleon early. I don't understand what's going on
All
here.
right, so I want to say thank you for pointing that out because I thought I was tripping because when I was watching the movie, I was eating Rofo chicken. I made it thought I was like, did I get some bad chicken or something? Because I watched that man halfway
I can't.
materialize in the wall.
I
And
can't.
I wasn't sleepy. I was just like, am I tripping? Because these progressive lenses don't progress the way they should. So I gotta
And
go
then
see
let's
Dr.
be honest,
I gotta go see Dr. Buchanan,
he
but yeah, this just ain't working. I thought I
he
was
has
tripping. Thank you for giving me
the
confirmation.
DNA. He has the DNA of a czar. Like if you know what a czar is, it's pretty much a liger, half tiger, half lion. And
Right.
they're 3 times the size of of a tiger and 4 times the size of a lion. But you don't see them in that, like Chris said, you don't see them in that area of Africa. They're on the hottest side of Africa. And for where they was at, was none of them sweating in the desert. So it I don't know where you was at with the sunshine and air conditioning, but you had to be on the outskirts. Even in Wakanda, they was hot.
Facts.
Because I
And
mean, like,
I was just
even
like,
when
all right,
what was it? What was her name? Crypto?
Calypso.
Calypso, thank you.
And I thought that
Calypso,
was a
Calypso was in
boy.
it too.
when she was a
Yeah,
child, she
oh,
was
wow.
talking to her grandmother. I was like, it is really, windy. Like it was like a spring day there, like a spring day in Baltimore with the breeze is blowing and shit, the grass swaying and everything. I was like, that don't look authentic. Like Wakanda looked more authentic and Wakanda was completely fake.
They
I'm
were
just
in, they filmed it in Ireland, not Africa.
Yeah, how about that?
oh, they were in
Somebody
the
probably
Irish
walked past
Isles.
with
They were somewhere in the Irish Isles.
Yeah,
Shout out to the moderator. The moderator just tuned in.
somebody walked past
So
with a cake.
somebody walked past with a cake. I hate you.
Bro, looking at it like the random talk with the grandmother, it was like, all right, we just gonna randomly start talking about this order that we still didn't get an answer for. And then it was, and the
Oh,
czar is supposed to be so spiritual that if the blood gets into you, you turn into a half lion. And I wonder where the bird come from. All of a sudden, he got eagle eyes. What did the bird get him to? I don't even understand because I want to know. And I never
yeah,
seen a
because I
czar
just said so
climb on
like
the ceiling.
so like the whole potion thing. I just know how grandmother was like, whoever you give this to will like bring them back to life, or no, it would heal them. That's what she said. It would heal them.
That- that-
And I
and
was
from,
like,
that's the
okay,
only
that's
part from the
so
comic.
wrong. It's
And I
not
was like,
comic.
okay,
Well,
but then
he did have the poaching in the comic, but
Yeah,
just
but it wasn't the same. It was more of a he took it all the time, right?
no, he took it was one time poacher, and it was to heal him, like the girl he was dating at the time or his wife, like he was already he was a controversial. He liked animals, and he worked on a reserve.
conservation.
Thank you. He worked on a conservation, and in the comics he was attacked, and he was attacked by a lion near death. His wife, girlfriend at the time, used an experimental serum to help heal him, and it amplified his ability, but also gave him that lust, the hunter's
Well,
lust, and that's why
let me
he
just go
became
and just
Christian.
break this down for you. Yeah, three-fourths of that is what actually happened in the movie. No, because first of all, the little Calypso was like an 8-year-old boy looking in the face, and you come to find out she's like a 23-year-old woman later on in life. I thought for sure that was a boy in the beginning. Hey,
Right,
and then
yeah.
they said Calypso, and I'm like, that's not Calypso, that's a whole dude right there. And first of
Like
all,
a
what
pig,
black
like a
child just
pig
hops
boy.
off of what black child hops off a truck in the middle of the jungle to go help somebody because you heard him in the forest? We are too friendly out here in these outbreaks. We from the hood. We're not doing that. We are
Mm.
not doing that. Then you give this man some clear Kool-Aid, and then he gets healed. And all of a sudden he's half lion, half pigeon. And we're like,
I
he's
have one
superhero
hand
in
pigeon.
there. I never
Yeah,
known a
what
lion to
she give
climb
me?
on the ceiling and rip a gate.
Yeah,
What
what she give
lion
him?
you rip a
Crystal clear
gate?
Pepsi. What she give him? Crystal clear
Huh?
Pepsi. Yeah, she gave him crystal
She
clear
gave him
Pepsi.
she gave him Sprite Zero, Sprite Remix.
The
No,
Sprite baby,
she gave him spicy Sprite from McDonald's.
spicy Sprite. Yeah. No, that wasn't McDonald's. That was it? No, that was Burger King. Burger King had the
No, it's
spicy
like that.
Sprite.
No,
It's
McDonald's had
McDonald's.
spicy Sprite.
But then you ripping the gate off the ceiling, bro. And I'm like, what lion does that? What animal hangs upside down? You have to be a part bat to do that.
Yeah,
And
I
you a
was just
whole guy.
first of all, I'm like, is he Wolverine, yo? Because is he
He should have died
Wolverine? Is he
when he was
Spider
drowning at
Man,
the
yo? Because the way he was scaling
bro.
walls and stuff, like why did he have to sneak into his brother's apartment? Why can't he just go through his brother's door, yo?
Right.
He
It's your
said
brother.
he
He's not the
he
one
has a
after you. Your daddy
he have
is.
a brother.
But wasn't when he if I'm remembering the movie correctly, wasn't that at the moment that like his father had planned the kidnapping and all that kind of stuff when he
Mm-hmm.
climbed into the apartment? And then the part in the movie where he was like hiding behind the
Here we
bodyguard
go.
or hiding
Here we
like
go.
you've been killing all of these people this whole time. And this one time you decide to like slink into the wall every time they turned around. Like I couldn't think if that was like Sony trying to be funny or if they just wasn't trying to kill nobody in this particular scene in the
Wait,
movie.
bro.
Hold on,
I agree
what scene
because
are you talking
you
about,
start
Chris?
off killing people, blood all on the floor. Arrow. First, you shot an arrow and it went through the man's head and into the door.
Yes.
How strong is this arrow? Then you jump up a 14-flight building to sneak into your brother's room just for him. And this is your father's building, so it don't like they know you're not coming. It's his birthday. They know you're coming. Just walk him through the door. The father said he's not trying to catch you because he know you're not coming.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to spend the day with his children, and you act like a whole dick. Like, come on, bro. Go
I
top
mean,
the
well, you
bottle,
gotta
then
give
leave.
him a big thing because he don't rock with his father, yo. Like he does not rock with his father. So
But you wind up slowly becoming your dad at the end of the movie. Even Calypso was like,
mm,
"You're acting just like your dad. You're hunting," and then they had to tell you're hunting for no reason. I'm killing everybody that deals with my dad. You done killed them already. Now what?
and now you're
Now
about to
what?
go kill your brother. Now you're gonna go kill your brother.
Now you're gonna kill your brother because first of all, he played him too well. You don't walk up on me and look like me at the same time. First of all, it's impossible to look like me. That was impossible.
I mean,
That movie was.
you killed your father first.
Yeah, you killed the father first with no problem. You ain't even kill the father. You just baited him out there. Just threw some meat out there. Here you go.
And then let the bear. You looked at the bear and
You
let
want
the
your
bear hit him.
Not just
Let's,
looked at the bear, but took. So
oh.
explain to me, when did he take the shells out the rifle, yo?
No shooting.
Apparently, he has strength of a lion. He's the eyes of the eagle. Some whatever animal can climb up on the ceiling and rip a gate. He got that one.
Poison
He can
dart,
talk to
bro.
animal up. All of a sudden, he's George of the Jungle. Like you talking to animals, just giving them head nod. Like, that's me. you
But I don't know.
remember when he
Brian may be
go
able
ahead?
to answer this question, and you may be able to answer it because I don't remember anywhere in any of the, and I can't say that I ever read the comic book, but in people explaining the comic, I don't ever remember him being able to like talk to animals or have some like psychic connection with the animals. Because like in the movie, it makes it seem as though a portion of whether it's the potion that he took or whether or not it's part of the blood drip from the czar that he now has this connection to the animal kingdom because every time his eyes turn gold that when he's looking at an animal they just recognize him as the alpha
The
whatever.
lord of animal, like the alpha male.
Yeah,
So you're the alpha bird, the alpha cat, the alpha dog, the alpha
the
giraffe.
Well,
You
alpha
just alpha
bear like
everybody.
whatever.
he has no
listen,
telepathic
listen,
ability towards animals. Here's a
Brian.
rundown of Craven's abilities according to Marvel:
All right.
superhuman strength, stamina, durability, speed, agility, reflexes, longevity, and sensing.
So he's a
Enhance arm,
gazelle. That's what he
yeah,
said.
He's a
en-
gazelle, yeah.
enhance arm and unarmed combat, master technician, strategist, occultist, and hunter. Use of various weapons, equipments, and drugs.
And he's a marine. That's
Well,
what
at least
basically saying. He's a
it makes
marine.
feel at least, you know.
He's a marine, and he talks to animals out of nowhere
All right,
because
Right.
he's
but
going to chew this movie up.
none of
Brian
that
is going to
says
kill
that
this
he's
movie.
Dr. Doolittle. Like that's what I'm
Right.
trying to
He
get
says
to. Like,
he's Dr. Doolittle with the super serum? With the
nah.
super
Listen,
serum.
I mean, but
Brian.
when you go and look at the
I
movie,
need
you'll
y'all to
understand
stop.
what I'm
Like
saying.
seriously, stop. The Doctor Doolittle with the super serum.
I mean, I'm saying, like,
So if Dr. Doolittle took the Captain America serum,
yes,
It's
and
Craven the
became
Hunter.
a super
Come on.
soldier.
listen, Brian, in the beginning of the movie, he's running through that desert in the snow, and white sand. I guess I thought it was snow.
No,
I
it's
don't know,
snow.
It's snow. It's snow.
but
They in Russia. Russia ain't got no
but
damn sand.
And then
I don't even think
he
there's
meets
Russia
the
anymore.
wolf.
And
There's
he
some in
looks at the
Russia.
wolf. The wolf turns
Allegedly.
around and howls at him. He looks at him and go, and the wolf said, "My bad."
Right.
And then the wolf attacks the guards that are chasing after him. Like it don't make no sense.
His name is Lee Sergey. Is his name Sergey in the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Sergey and Dmitri. They kept the names right, just the
Well,
personalities
except
was a
for the
little
fact
off.
that they made Chameleon his brother, which makes no sense.
Now I don't know if he was an adopted brother or the brother,
No, that's his
but
brother.
in general,
No, because one of them they refer. Because remember when he was sitting at the camp when he was in Africa, air quotes. Um,
I'm sorry.
one of
Hold up.
the guy that becomes Rhino makes
He
a
is
reference
Chameleon's half
about
brother.
him being
Half
like
brother.
his half son or his illegit like his half son or something like that. His half brother. And he was talking about Dimitri.
They are
okay,
half brothers.
that'll make sense. He's
I
like,
stand corrected. Him and
that's
Chameleon
crazy.
are half brothers.
Half brother.
Yeah,
So maybe Daddy stepped out, and Mama knew about it. They put her away in the nut house.
I don't know.
Well,
It just ain't
again,
make sense to me.
parents made up like for the actual story. Now, for me, if this was a way to bring the X-Men and the mutant X gene into the whole universe, if Sony was trying to do that, then maybe a little bit of this would make more sense because now I see where you're trying to go with it. But again, Sony has always had the bad habit of not connecting stories together. Like that's what makes Marvel good at this whole Marvel universe is that they have the ability to bob and weave out of everything that they do. They always, even if they don't plan on doing it, they always make a way to connect one thing to the other. Even if it's 5 movies later, they'll go back and say, oh, remember this. and
Yes,
Sony
guys.
just not
Mm.
hasn't come up with how to do that yet, which
Now
is
I
why
feel like they
all of
do
these
know how to
movies
do it.
are
They
so
just choose not
standalone.
to.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
but I also think they have bad writers too. So at the end of the
they
day, the
wanted to
writer's
do
not
it. They
paying
wanted to
attention.
create their own connected universe. It
And
all
you can't.
started with Amazing Spider-Man 2. If you watch at the end of that, when the guy was walking through the hall, you saw Doc
The
Ock's
Sinister Six, right?
arms. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was supposed to plan out to a Sinister Six movie. But then Amazing Spider-Man 2 bombed so bad at the box office, which was a shame because I think those was pretty dope movies. Andrew Garfield got a bad rap playing Spider-Man. Um,
He did.
I
I
actually
look at
like Andrew Garfield playing Spider Man. I think he
here-
did a
here-
really good
here's
job.
my hot take. I look at Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 the same way I look at Superman Returns. They was great movies with great actors. Superman Returns with Brandon Routh gets a bad rap. Me personally, I think that was an awesome movie. I think Brandon Routh as Superman was pretty damn dope. But nevertheless, I think Sony, like I said, Sony just rushing to put these movies out. One, so they can hold on to the rights of the movie. Because I think they got to do a certain amount of movies, or they have to do something in order for them to keep the rights. If not, it reverts back to Marvel. Because I remember I read a story one time. Apple thought about buying Sony, and I think
Yeah,
if
that was
Sony,
not too long ago.
yeah, if Apple was to buy Sony, Sony would lose all the movie rights to Marvel characters. And I'm praying Apple buys Sony. If we could get real now, like I say, the partnership between them, Sony and Marvel, as far as Spider-Man is pretty cool. But I would love to see Tom, Tom Holland Spider-Man, even if it's not with Tom Hardy's Venom. I still would like to see that happen. I think we're going to get Tom Holland's Venom soon. I think what's going to happen is Secret Wars. But Sony just, like I said, they're rushing these movies out. They're literally throwing anything at the wall and see what sticks. And unfortunately, the ones that slides too far down are the ones that they're making movies. I'm quite sure they have other movies they can make. Jenny, hi
Hi,
Jenny.
Hello,
Jenny.
Jenny J. Hello, Jenny J. Hello,
Yeah,
Jenny
It's
J.
man.
Think
Jenny.
about it. It wouldn't make sense to make a chameleon movie. You're using all the primal characters for Spider Man. You did
And
Venom.
honestly, if
Venom knocks
written
out
very
Carnage.
well, if written
Huh?
well, a chameleon movie could probably be dope because he's a Russian spy that takes like
Yeah, but we got James Bond in them for that. As a
true.
matter, if we had a Russian spy, wouldn't Natasha Romanoff?
But it would make a good series.
It
Something
would.
that
Yeah,
people
it
would
would.
come back
They need to be
to.
serious.
It would be better
And
as a series than a movie.
it would be better as a series to me.
Series. Craven would have been better at the series. He had his
I agree.
original story first. He should have been. Matter of fact, Craven should have been the series.
But here's the
Craven
thing
the
with
Hunter should
Craven.
have been the movie.
Craven's whole motive is Spider-Man. Like
Hmm.
he looks at Spider-Man as
The
the
best game.
greatest hunt. Yeah, that's his like it went so far. I remember one time it's one story, I can't remember which story it was, where he caught Spider-Man, drugged
Oh my
him,
lord.
buried him, and masqueraded as Spider-Man for the longest. This is I want to say it was the Back in Black storyline. Because at the same time I think Aunt May got hurt and Spider-Man started wearing his Naeem, honestly, that probably wouldn't be a bad move. That would
So
probably be a
Naeem for our Spotify listeners who can't see what's on the screen. Naeem, aka Dick Clark, says, I need a Spider-Man and Amazing Friends movie.
I'm done.
and for my millennials who don't know what Spider-Man and his amazing friends are,
You
that
know
it
what's
was a
sad?
comic book.
Second millennials. I don't know how. I need somebody to explain that to me. Because my kids are like, no, Dad, you're a millennial. I was like, no, children, I was
We're
born before the
Xennials.
change of the century.
We're
Yeah,
Xenials. We're in the
we're
middle.
Xennials. We're in that
Analog and digital
digital. Yeah.
Hey,
space.
y'all full blown digital. We know what
But
VHS tapes look like and
yeah,
Maxwell's
I think
and
Spider-Man now Spider-Man is Amazing Friends would be dope as a series. That would be dope. And it doesn't have to necessarily be Spider-Man with Firestar and Iceman. It could be Spider-Man with a rotating co-star Like it could be Spider-Man and Daredevil one episode, Spider-Man and Punisher one. Like I think that will be a dope series, animated or whatnot. But I think that will be a. Now you might be onto something there, sir. Yeah.
If
So
they
let me
if they
ask
do
y'all.
that, how I hope that they do Daredevil,
Mm,
because of
talk about it.
everybody
Talk about it.
that's everybody that's in New York. That would be the series that would blow everything out of the water.
I think we're getting that in
So
season two.
I agree.
the rumor is that Disney, God bless them. Never thought I would say that in a sentence. Um, are trying to rehash the like the Luke like the Netflix
Defenders.
series.
The
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Defenders.
Luke Cage and all that kind of stuff.
I think we're
yeah.
gonna get that
So
in
that's
season two.
right. So that's the rumor that Sony is talking about doing. And not Sony, Disney. God, no, please no, Sony,
So
Disney.
far it's working. So far it's working. Daredevil is
It's
Hey, that
amazing.
was.
It's amazing.
So, so I got one more question for y'all, and it's in reference to Craven, excuse me. Um, what was your favorite part of this movie, Brian? I know you haven't seen the movie, so you are excluded from answering this question. Honestly, my favorite part of the movie was probably the end when his brother did the shape shifting on him, and then you realize, oh, okay, all right, so he's going to be the next villain, and if they do another one. Because I realized Sony is doing these movies and leaving cliffhangers and not following up.
Not following through.
because they bombed. They bombed.
Well, Craven did good, money
It,
wise.
it did good money wise, but you think they gonna really they got like terrible ratings though.
Yeah, it got really
Everybody
bad
said the best
reviews.
part was
That
the
has
fight
not
scene.
stopped Sony before.
It hasn't, but I don't think they will. If they do, they gotta give Sony Marvel has to have full control. They gotta have full control. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been playing Spider-Man 2, and that Craven on
It's,
that game
it's
is
awesome.
the best Craven I've
Yo,
ever seen.
he gets on my nerves in that movie. Like in that game.
Man, you fight him for a whole hour, bro.
You
Listen,
know what,
Between
I
Jenny?
both.
promise.
See, you know what, Jenny? We appreciate you and we thank you just for stopping past. Jenny says, LOL, I have no clue of what y'all talking about. Just here for support. We
I
love you.
appreciate
We
it.
appreciate you
Thank
And
you,
all
Jenny.
day.
appreciate and honesty is everything.
And sometimes, Jenny, I don't know what we talking about here too. I just be faking it until I make it. So
That's what she.
so I'm gonna need you to be PG. Okay. Yes. Right now. PG. That don't mean stop talking, Daniel.
Oh, my favorite part of the movie is actually the fight scene on the truck when
With
he's bouncing
Rhino?
from truck to truck. No, no, that
Oh,
was crazy.
Wait, Rhino was in
When
this too?
Yeah,
yeah,
yes.
that was
Rhino was
good.
in
That
this.
was a good setup though. You ain't gonna like. You're not gonna like this movie, Brian. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it
All
Oh,
right.
because you're gonna be that guy that's gonna critique every part of this movie to the point you're just gonna throw your TV out the window. Just don't. Just don't watch
Brian, they had Rhino have some skin disease, and he was wearing this like Italian backpack the whole time. You ain't had to do that. Um, and whenever he disconnected the backpack is when his Rhino skin showed up, and he doesn't turn really full blown Rhino until almost the end of the movie when him and Craven fight. And the way that Craven kills him is he sees the little hole where the whatever the serum is supposed to go in, and he sticks like a stick in the hole, which
it.
incapacitates
Deflated him.
him, and then
Yo,
he gets run over by a herd of buffalo. That's it.
shout out to Michael Ford. Thank you, Brandon, for joining in. We appreciate you. Jenny said, well, let's not throw the TV out the window. And Courtney is replying to Jenny where she says, don't feel bad. I haven't seen the movie. I'm just here for support as well. Carry on, people.
Just be here for
Thank
Um,
the
you.
shenanigans. That's all.
so so the best way I could explain Rhino, Brian, is that he got rejected by Craven's father because he wanted to work with him with the mob or whatever. He's like, no, because you're weak. and he went to New York and met with this doctor, and he was part of this experiment, and the experiment gave him super strength, but it was the consequences to the
Got to
to
the
the
next
serum.
one.
Yeah, more serum, and it made his skin, as you probably already know, become hard and tough. And but he was
Mm,
in so much pain that he found this, as he called it, a concoction,
Yeah.
something. He called it when he was talking to Chameleon before he became Chameleon after he kidnapped him. And it allowed him to not turn into Rhino. It allowed him to control the skin disease
With a
that he
with
was
a
suffering
backpack,
from.
with a
One
dialysis
backpack. It was like, you
thing
ever seen somebody
out the
wear like
side of his side.
you ever see somebody be running and they got those packs on their back to keep them
With the
hydrated?
water on it, yes.
Yeah,
But
that's what it looked
he
like,
don't have
yo.
no
It
thing
looked
at the
like one
top.
of those. It looked like a water pack. Huh?
But instead of the nozzle being up here where he could drink it, it's connected to
insulin.
his
It's
side
connected to his kidneys.
with
It's like
a
right into his kidneys.
yes, right where his kidney at.
Hey, you know what I
And
just thought about? You know what I just thought about just now? Thanks to Kevin. They
what?
set up for a part two. They really set up for a part two
Oh.
because the Rhino working with a doctor in New York, right?
Yes.
And the brother
Spider
went to
Man
go
is in
see
New
a
York,
doctor in New York.
right? Spider Man is in New York, and the doctor that they're going to go see is Doctor Connors, aka Lizard Man.
Yes.
So now you're going to find out why Craven is going to wind up going to New York to try to kill Rhino because for some reason Rhino's pretty much not going to be dead. For some reason, he has Rhino skin.
Well,
You just beat him up real bad.
remember after he gets trampled by the buffaloes or
Buffaloes.
whatever, like only one half of like this portion of his face turns human,
Right.
and the rest of him
Right.
is still the Rhino. So is he
I
really
think he's going
dead?
to be permanently like that.
Who the heck knows? Like
So,
In
real
in
quick.
Marvel history,
nobody
they tell
really
you
died.
if you don't see the dead body, he's still alive.
Yeah.
So real quick, Brandon, we call him Brandon on the show. His name is Michael Ford. He says I haven't seen the
What?
movie. It's a friend of the friends, it's a friend of the family. Calm down. He said I haven't seen the movie, but I gotta support us black folk. LOL. And shout out to
Appreciate it.
Harold. Shout out to Harold, old church member. Thank you, sir, for joining in and supporting us. We appreciate you tonight. Um, yeah, it's a cluster, yo. This whole movie, and like I said, me not knowing the comic, not seeing not reading the comic, Jesus, but watching this movie, it just did. It was just so many things missing. I'm sitting there like, maybe I was just better off not watching this movie. Maybe I was just better off just like being just being the narrator tonight and letting Dan and Chris go at it. But now I have to talk about how bad this movie was. Like, and I get it. If you watch it for the action, it's a great movie. Don't
Yeah.
watch it for the story. Do not watch this
No,
movie for the story.
And for
the
me,
only way he's going
that
to
is
save
the
this.
only
But
saving grace of this movie is the actual fight scenes. Like, what was the movie good? It was mediocre at best.
Oh, I got a
Um,
question. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Brian H. Thank you for joining in. So I got a question. And maybe Brian can answer this if you know who the character is. I don't even think they said the guy's name in the movie. You might have. The assassin. The one that would count 1, 2, 3.
oh, the one that would materialize like in front of
Yes.
people and then shoot them.
Yes. Who was he? Because the
listen,
only
am
thing
I
I
the only
caught
one
was
that
that
started counting with him?
evidently. Because the only thing I ever caught was that the fact Traven might have killed his master who trained him.
I think at the jail cell.
No, I don't
Because
think
I
that
was
was his. I don't think that was his master.
listen.
Because this dude was like a ninja assassin that was able to dematerialize and bend time.
Because my thing was when he started counting, I just had no choice but to start counting with him. Like
You know
one,
what?
like two.
His name was the Foreigner.
His name's a
He was
foreigner.
definitely foreign.
Yeah,
He was
that's what they
definitely
called
foreign.
him. They
Yeah,
did
it's
say
the
the
Foreigner.
foreigner.
He's Silver Sable's ex-husband. Um, he's think of it as a he's a wait a minute, 4-1.
Miss Donaldson, we gonna need you not to be jumping ahead of talking about we run the show, man. You are a spectator. We run this show. You talking about so what's everyone's overall rating of the movie? We gonna get to that, ma'am. We just need you to stay where you are. Jenny, Jenny says, Courtney, I don't think they like the storyline, but like the act.
He was like some martial arts character in like the comics, right?
Yeah, well, from what I'm reading, he's like he's a broke man's Punisher.
You know what?
He
That's the vibe I got too. That
What
is
he
the
say?
exact
The
vibe.
what?
broke
Broke
man's
man,
Punisher.
the broke man's Punisher. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he just tried
Who
to
can
be.
who can count real
Moderator's in
good?
the building. As she's finally is able to respond, moderator says, "Leave my cousin alone." Uh, she is in the house and in the building and online. So,
God damn. She a lot of places.
she is all places. Um, yeah, nah, yo, like because they tried to make him like real suave. That's the crazy part about it. Dude was
Well,
all slick with
one
some
of his
nice
powers,
glasses.
he has a near mystic ability to place an opponent in a 10-second hypnotic trance.
I was getting ready to say
Eye
that's what it
contact.
was. That's why he was counting.
What makes people think that he moves faster than what the eye can see. Like he's even found a way to get around Spider-Man's Spidey sense by doing that.
You know who his character reminded me of? You remember that movie with Denzel Washington in it where he would do his stopwatch
The
and he would beat
Equalizer,
the
Falling.
crap out of people?
Father,
Yeah,
Equalizer.
yeah.
That's what I
what did
said.
you say, Kevin?
No, it's the movie's the Equalizer.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what did you say?
I said the Equalizer.
Oh,
Dan said something else.
what you say?
My favorite movie from Denzel is The Fallen. So that's all for him. Fallen to me and the spirit jumping out on back and forth. I kind of get that vibe when I with him. Every time he count the Holy Ghost kept winning somebody else. That's kind of good.
Did you say the Holy Ghost? Shut up.
Yeah. Like one, two, whoo,
Hush.
and they come back around. Hey.
I'm gonna need you to stop, yo.
Sound singing
Thank
like
y'all for
Michael
coming out.
McDonald. Be quiet.
Break every chain
So,
now. Come on.
so evidently we
Still a
have very
thing.
limited favorite parts of this movie because we just really didn't name any favorite parts other than the fight scenes. So I guess that was it. Um, God dang, yo, she hit the building and put you in timeout, yo.
I don't see it.
Because your
She
eyes
put you in
closed?
timeout, yo.
Yeah.
She put you in like, yo, she was itching. She was itching to put you in timeout. She was itching so bad to put
Is
you in
there
timeout.
is there like a Dan timeout quota that we have to hit every show?
Yeah.
No, no, it's just whenever she feel like it. It's almost like
Because
an
let's be
abusive
honest, man.
relationship. You know, when your mama just feel like whipping your ass, she just want to beat on you. It's not like that, yeah.
Let's just be honest. I didn't do nothing bad this whole show
You were
to
born.
deserve to be in timeout.
You've
You
been
were
on good
born.
you've been on good
You have been
behavior.
on good behavior. You was born a couple times. You was born a couple times.
Right. So the fact that you put me on timeout, I'm rebuking that in the name of Jesus.
No, you're
We're
not.
not doing that.
No,
Yes,
you're
I
not.
am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Don't use my Lord and Savior for that,
Yeah,
yo.
don't bring Jesus
You got
into
better
it.
things to do. You got better things
He,
to do.
so he just gonna let me be in timeout?
How about you in timeout? She put you in timeout.
No, I
For
mean
nothing.
I don't think you deserve the timeout this time.
I don't think
Right.
you got
See,
timeout either.
you
Any
know
other
what,
time?
Chris? I'm like the black man in Daredevil. I'm getting arrested for a box of cereal that I bought.
Some
Yeah, they said Fiddle Faddle entirely too much
fiddle
in that
faddle,
episode for me.
like 19 times, fiddle faddle.
They said that entirely too much. That should be allowed in the TV show.
Man
I
said fiddle
think
faddle.
I
I was like,
think
Buttercup,
if
they did
fiddle
fiddle
that on
faddle,
faddle did
purpose.
not sponsor
Honestly,
buttercup.
that episode, they got enough exposure in
They
that
got
one
sponsorship.
episode.
I felt
No,
like
they
you
Next
said
putting it.
Fiddle
episode
Faddle
brought to
because they
you by
couldn't use
Fiddle Cup.
punch much.
I felt
Right.
like you putting it in caps doesn't make it any difference. Like he didn't do anything. Like you just putting it in caps don't make it like You didn't do anything for once. And any other time I would co-sign, I'm like, yeah, you used to go and sit in your corner. You ain't do nothing. I'm not co-signing on that.
Right.
What did Courtney say?
Who you
Courtney
said
said,
Naeem
I'm
would be in
pretty sure
timeout too.
if Nah was on here, he would be in timeout with Dan. I think just by so
Well,
like
Death by
it
association.
definitely,
right
it
timeout by
definitely feel like I'm back in
association.
high school. I'm back in high school, but just going to the office for no reason. I'm going to office because it's Friday.
I feel like Dan, that's a lie. And I say that because we stayed in the principal's office. Maybe not in high school for me, but elementary, and middle school, I was on first name basis. I was asking my principal how their family was, how the kids are coming along. You taking your wife
Bro,
out for the anniversary. I knew way too much
me,
personal stuff about the
But
office
bro,
people.
me,
I
but
stayed
was
in
you
there more
my
than class.
assistant
but was you
principal,
not in trouble a lot in ROTC?
Oh, me? No. Mm-mm. I was
Kev,
not.
my assistant
Are
principal
you
was my
sure? Is
baseball
that your
coach.
final answer?
Yes, I was really ever in trouble in ROTC.
Kevin
Okay.
Now,
Gross.
Mr. Johnston,
I'm
on the
I'm
other
just
hand,
saying. I'm just saying. That ain't what I heard. So
I don't know what you are. I've gotten the whole time I was at Northern, I got into two scraps. And the one scrap I got into that was in ROTC, I got set up. And they would not let me get my hands on the dude because I was going to take his face off. I was literally,
Mm,
I was, Frank was going to have me in handcuffs that day. And y'all
mm.
wouldn't have seen me no more.
I ain't
Frank was
getting no
school
fights in
police.
my school.
Frank was school police. Everybody knew Frank. We
yeah,
saw Frank on
everybody
the
was
street.
right.
I
Yep.
see Frank on the street. Hey, Frank.
Yeah, see, y'all bad children, not me.
Hey Dan, you can't even say that with a straight face.
Hey, face, right?
So, hold on. Now you go, hey yo, responding. And then he responds back saying, I'm being good and still getting in trouble.
That's what I'm trying to tell you now. We the two bad kids in the back of the class, and Kevin sits at the front, get us both in trouble.
No, I do not. I never sat in the front of the class. Only time I sat in the front of the class before I got glasses because I couldn't see.
I sat in the back
Anyway,
of the class because never mind. I went to third. I went to her and run, so that's enough for me.
Thank you for calling it her run because Thurgood Marshall Middle School / high school made no sense to me. It was
I
always
don't know what
her
the
run.
high school part is. I went to her and run
Yeah,
170.
yeah, it was a high school for a short stint. I don't know
That's
how.
sad. That's
That's
sad.
very sad.
Them classrooms was elementary school built. That's
Don't
bad.
do that.
But
Don't do that.
my
Don't do that because I was in. Never. You know what? I was in the portable next door.
what?
Yeah, I was in the portable next door.
Don't tell everybody that.
You know what?
Yo,
We gonna move
Naeem,
on from this one.
Naeem said also sending a B-Day shout out to Miss Voorhees. Miss Voorhees, because you know I cannot say her first name. Broke you? Broke
yes.
you? Huh?
Brooke,
You
Brooke.
can never
Brooke,
pronounce the I always that's why I always say
Brooke.
Voorhees. Um,
Yeah, she just had a birthday.
yeah, I did not know. So happy belated birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And she's also here under Princess Fabulous. Under Princess Fabulous.
fabulous.
So she's saying hello to the fellas and hello to the ladies. It is always a pleasure, Miss Voorhees, to have you on the show. I cannot call you Miss Fabulous because I just know you as Voorhees, and it's gonna sound kind of weird to call you something else. I'm just weird like that. But welcome anyway. We appreciate you joining us. So I hope you had a good birthday, safe, somewhat lit. You know, do what you do because we know some of the stuff that you do, but we ain't gonna put that out here.
And
Uh
it is a lovely thing that she does.
Wow.
it's
Oh, oh.
wholesome for people.
But you said you wasn't gonna put it out there. You just did.
She's wholesome. She's a good
Sidebar.
girl.
Sidebar.
Yep.
She's a good girl. Go to church, Christian, all that. Um,
Kevin, you about to get put in timeout.
all right, people.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Pardon me. So we have come to the fun part of the show. Final thoughts. So, Chris, I'm going to let you go first because I feel like Dan is going to have to go last because he's going to have a moment. I feel it coming. No Diddy.
I'm so upset that that's a phrase now. Um,
Really. Look, it was look, no Diddy, no homo. All of it's
yeah,
juvenile. It's
yeah, it
just fun to
really
say
is.
it now. But go ahead.
So I guess at the end of the day, like Sony's track record continues to speak for itself. Like they have big ideas but have no way of executing them. Um, Secondly, they can't decipher between what's a good movie and what should be a HBO show or whatever. So
Which just shouldn't be made at all.
yeah, that too. But at the end of the day, like I said previously, like this movie was mediocre at best. Um, I don't really think it did anything for the Spider Verse. Um, he could have been a walk on character in a Spider Man movie. Um, at the end of the day. So to Brian's
You were
point, it
talking.
really just wasn't enough of anything to make it a movie. The fact that you have to finagle a backstory for someone who has a backstory in order to make your backstory plausible, it it's just too convoluted for me. So, the action was great, the CGI was horrible. The what do they call it? The AGI, whatever, when they overtalk lines, when they come back and re-record lines
Hmm.
for products. Some of that was very misplaced. In the movie, it didn't make sense what they were saying. It didn't add nothing to the scene or whatever like that. So, scale of 1 to 10, this is probably a 3 in my book.
Mm. Um,
Hmm.
I'm gonna give Mr. Johnston a pass because he hasn't seen the movie, and I feel
Yeah.
like even if he did get one, it was gonna be just a bad review, if just because just off of GP. And yes, sir, God is great. Uh, this movie was not. God is dope, but this movie still was not. Um, I did take, like I said, I took the time out to watch this movie today, and it was not good. It just wasn't a good movie. The actions was good. CGI, as I said, like Chris, I'm piggybacking off of Chris, and I also said it earlier. It was bad CGI, and Sony has done great work with CGI, and it literally tells you what movies that they want to put the effort into, and movies they don't want to put the effort into to make successful. I feel like if you really want to make these your portion of the Marvel universe successful, you will put more time and effort into it. You're only doing it to keep the IP and to be spiteful towards Disney, which
Hmm.
is ridiculous. Like, I don't like the fact that these industries, Disney, these studios, that's what I want to use. These studios are playing tit for tat with one another just to keep IP and to make the other one be like, I want nothing. But you can't have it. It's tiresome. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is literally enough to go around. Sony, if you wanted um, the entire Marvel universe, then you should have paid for it. You should have paid for it the way Disney paid for it. Okay? And that's facts. You didn't. You wanted to keep Spider-Man and they let you keep Spider-Man. And then you like, well, we want to keep this too. Oh, we already had X-Men. So because and then it's like, okay, screw it. Stop. Either give it up to Disney
Or
or
make
do
good
better.
movies.
Or do better. It's that simple.
Hmm.
It is really that simple. Do better.
Hmm.
Because Craven could have been a great movie. Like I said, for somebody for me who was not part of that universe, growing up as a kid, never read the comic book, this would have been a great way to introduce me to Craven and make me go, let me go find out some more about him. Now I don't want to know crap about Craven.
Hmm.
Because if I go back and read the comic and just talk to other people, I'm going to be even more lost than what I was watching this movie. Because I could tell from watching this movie, it was incomplete. So that is my soapbox. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to have a special edition of Lions Den. Dan's Lions Den. Daniel,
Yes.
floor
Why you put me on the spot?
is yours.
So, so here we go. Bam tagging the Kev just tagged me in on this situation. Y'all already know how I feel about Sony in the situation. We're dealing with them in Marvel. I honestly believe in what Kevin said. If you wanted to hold by the whole category, you should have just wanted to kick their money out for it. But however, since you didn't, you make a piss poor ass movie and they're terrible. The best one you did still to this day is Man on Web, but if you put it out too early, it would have been greater than what it was already was. I said it once and I say it again, I'm sticking to it. Man on Web was your most detailed movie, but the dialogue was wrong. So whatever you had writing for it was terrible. Movie in general, probably about a 6. The writing is about a 1. Now, Craven, on the other hand, action was perfect. The CGI was just terrible. I never known somebody to get punched through a wall and the wall don't even do nothing. Yet alone you go through the wall, go to the next room. That's amazing. But however, what y'all did, well, I asked for this special time because there's a lot of things going on between Sony and Marvel, and somebody's getting a lot of criticism for what they said about Marvel. And the movie is done better than the previous person who played the movie, which I'm talking about is Anthony Mackie. And what his phrase was when it came to Captain America, how everybody disrespected it because he said the movie Brave New World, which is still doing its numbers and record breaking because it did better than the last 2 Captain America movies together. So I don't know what to tell you. But however, Chris Evans, who played Captain America first, says, I've said it before in interviews that it feels more like he should be called Captain Good. You know, he was created at a time where there was this undeniable evil, and this guy was kind of created to fight evil. I think that everyone could agree that the Nazis were bad, and he, Cap, as Cap, just think he just so happens to wear red, white, and blue. That is pretty much what Chris Evans said. Now, here we go with this part. To me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't mean it in the term of America. Should be one of those representations. It has always been about a man who keeps his word, who is honored, dignity, integrity, and someone who is trustworthy and dependable. Now, he's pretty much saying the exact same thing Captain America, well, Chris Evans has said, but at the same time, nobody gave backlash to Chris Evans for doing this. This man wound up making 3 more movies under the Captain America. Well, this Anthony Mackie, who didn't even know he was going to have the role as Captain America until he was over Chris Evans' house. We give him backlash
Mm,
because of, let's be honest, he's black. I'm gonna be honest with you. He is because he's black and he's playing Captain America. It's not because of what he said. You just pick nitpicking. I don't think you should do that, especially when his movie is better than the last 2 Captain Americas. That's included Civil War. This movie has done more with less promotion. It's
yeah.
pretty much a wrestling event. He has been champion without having a belt. Anthony Mackie for his movie, his role as Captain America. You're stupid in your mind to think that Marvel was going to cancel this guy. They just put this bag on him and he gave them a bigger bag in a month. And then you criticize him on how he raising his family when he clearly told you in the beginning of the interview, this is my opinion on what's going on in the world. That there is a loss of masculinity over the past 20 years. You mad at this man because he's teaching his sons how to open up doors to women and raising his kids not to be stuck on name brand clothing. That's crazy. So you pretty much saying that if he has a brand, you should be on it. Don't raise your kids not to love name brand. Never said they don't love name brand. They don't be addicted to the brand. The brand doesn't make you, you make the brand. You're mad at this man for teaching his kids actual morals that most men are supposed to teach their children. And then you want to cancel for that, yet on top of being the black Captain America. There's not no other reason why you should hate this man. This man has done more movies than most of the people than Chris Evans combined. This man has done Broadway and all kind of plays, and y'all just sit there and disrespect this man because of his morals and his opinions on his children. If that's the case, you damn sure gonna hate me because I'm in the same boat as Anthony Mackie. All in all, what I'm trying to say is don't disrespect this man because of what he said if you're not gonna criticize everybody else. Because Chris Evans should have been the first one. If you would have criticized him, we shouldn't have never got a Civil War. He should have never been in Endgame. I'm done. I'm good now.
All right. I want to piggyback on what you just said. Not, and I'm not going to go too deep into this. And I appreciate everything you just said because everything you said was actual facts.
And I did not touch.
You did not. And I appreciate you.
I
Um,
wanted to.
I know you did. Um, first and foremost,
That Chris, I held my tongue.
people have criticized him because he said that Captain America necessarily did not represent America, and they jumped on his back for that. First and foremost, Chris Hemsworth said the same thing, and most importantly, it was said in the comic. The Captain America character in the comic said he didn't stand for America, but for the ideal of America, what it's supposed to represent. And that's what Anthony Mackie said. Chris Hemsworth said the same thing, but nobody jumped on him for saying it. Why? Why? Let's call it what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. People already had an issue with him becoming Captain America, even in the TV show. And shout out to Disney for setting the foundation with the TV
Yes,
show. Because the TV
that
show
was
told
actually pretty
you,
good.
this is your Captain America. And we're going to put him in a movie. Get used to it. Because this is how it happens in the book, in the comics. Get used to it.
Side
And
sidebar before you finish, they had to rewrite the actual show for Captain America, for Falcon and Winter Soldier. They had to rewrite it because it was too close to home during the
Yep.
COVID era. It was basically
Yep.
about a disease, airborne disease. At first, they had to rewrite the whole thing in 2 months, and
right.
for the be that good, like, come on now.
Because
That's what
remember, it
happens when
was
you
even
actually pay
certain
writers.
it was certain parts of it when they got to um what you call the group, the what you call them, smashers or whatever.
Black Flag Smashers.
Yeah, when it got to them, some of the parts were a little convoluted, and it was because they had to change it. There were certain things that was said that didn't match
Mm-hmm.
what was happening.
So real quick, I just
Brian,
want to finish
Brian,
up.
you on mute.
I want to finish up. Just give me 1 second, Brian. I'm sorry. Just
Never
real
mind. Go
quick.
ahead.
The name brand thing and how you raise your sons as a black man, and I'm calling it that because normally I don't put race into certain things, but this is what it's going to be. As a black man that was raised by a black man and a black woman, I taught my kids the same thing.
Hmm.
You don't live for name brand, you live for your name, and that was something that was instilled in me. Growing up in the '80s, that was a basketball player. Some of y'all might know him. Some of y'all might call him a GOAT. He played way before LeBron has. It goes by the name of Michael Jordan. The only NBA player to have two different numbers, and still make the Hall of Fame under both of them. Um, he came
Still
out with
trying to
these
figure out
tennis
that
shoes.
one.
Right. Came out with these tennis shoes. Some of y'all might have heard of called J's, Jordans. And I remember as a kid, I nagged my mother. I wanted a pair of Jordans. And my mother asked me a simple question. What makes his name more important than yours?
Mm.
And I was like, he Michael Jordan. And she said, if Michael Jordan didn't play basketball, would you know who he was? No. So once again, why is his name more important than yours? It's the same thing I taught my sons and my daughter. I am not a name brand person. I wear Nikes because I got bad feet and they work on my feet. Certain products I get name brand because I just like the product, but I'm not a name brand person. Because my name is who I am, and my name is my brand. That's why I stand behind Two Fat Guys podcast. That's why I stand behind everything I do, because my name is just as important, and that's what I taught my kids. So shout out to Anthony Mackie for doing the right thing as a black father, because it's agitating as a black man to see all these black kids out here with stuff. Bless you, Brian. With
Thank you.
stuff that half of them can't afford. And I'm just speaking facts. Now, if you're a parent, you got it, you good. That don't mean your kids gotta have it. My oldest
Not
son,
only that,
my oldest son, high school. He wanted a pair of LeBrons. I said, I'll get you a pair of LeBrons, but you gotta do something for me. I need to see grades. I need to see you doing right before I drop $300 on a pair of shoes. Because I won't even drop $300 on a pair of shoes myself.
Oh,
You want it, you work for it. And
Yeah.
he worked for it. And those are the only pair of expensive shoes I ever bought my eldest child. Every shoe he got after that, he paid for himself. And guess what? He stopped doing it. He's like, yo, because this crap is expensive. I'll support LeBron from afar. I'll be a fan. That is it.
Well, the bronze you brought there was $300.
This was like back in like early 2000 something like that when he was still going to Poly.
you bought the King Blues. I know what you bought.
Yeah,
You bought the King Blues.
never
Yeah,
again.
that's cool. Nah,
All right,
nah.
all right, go ahead, Brian. Because you've been patient. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh no, I like I say, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know much to give it a rating. But give me about 11, 11:30. I got you. I'll send a mass text to all three of y'all. Be like, this movie sucked. But
Well, I already know that's coming. I know that's coming. I know that's coming. The
um,
sidebar is as far as your J's, we would never have them if it wasn't for Baltimore City.
No, we wouldn't have Air Forces. We
Air
wouldn't
Force
have Air
Ones.
Forces. We wouldn't
Yeah.
have Air Force Ones if it wasn't for Baltimore City.
Yeah,
Yo, Naeem,
that's why your
shout out to
kids should.
Naeem. Yo, he said that's why y'all kids should have great value clothes to their 20.
Not great value.
That's what I said. I said not great value.
Oh,
Not great.
Foreman Mills, yes. I do.
Yeah, at least Foreman Mills.
At least
At least.
Foreman
Foreman Mills
Mills.
got good clothes though. Like Foreman Mills has okay clothes. Like that's where you shop when you got a bunch of kids. Hell, that's where you shop when you're a grown person and you want a budget.
Yeah.
I know you used to work for Foreman Mills. You got me a dope hoodie from there before. I remember. Courtney says
Oh,
my
easy
kids
time
don't
out.
care if it's name brand or not as long as it looks nice. Facts.
Here's the thing. Like Anthony Mackie didn't say anything any normal non-famous parent
Yep.
would have said.
Yep.
Right.
The fact that he is a famous individual and said what us middle class or right above poor class say to our children. Granted, I don't have none. Um, it's nothing new for our community as African American individuals. At the end of the day, it really shouldn't matter. Um, and how he chooses to raise his kids shouldn't matter to anybody else.
It
Because
shouldn't.
y'all ain't saying nothing to Kanye about how he raising his kid,
Mm,
or Beyonce and Jay Z about how they raising their kid. All the soundtracks that Beyonce done for Disney and what have you. So if you're gonna ridicule one person, then you got to ridicule them all.
Somebody should have stopped Kanye from making them ugly shoes called Yeezys, but this is a conversation for another day.
they're
I don't care
comfortable
how
though.
comfortable they are. I
I
don't care
get they're
how comfortable
comfortable.
they are. They're ugly and them shoes cost too much. All right, your shoes should not have built-in vents. That's all I'm saying.
If
Brand
you need
Michael
built-in
Ford,
vents, you need powder in your shoes, or you need to go see a
right,
doctor.
right.
Baking soda. I got
Michael
baking
Ford,
soda.
Michael Ford says, I say bring back Payless. That's what my father got me, got all my shoes. Look, I had a couple hard bottles from Payless growing up. All right. They worked. If I need to get some dress shoes in a pinch,
All
I
right.
got me some hard bottoms from Payless, took them outside,
Bruh.
brought them on the sidewalk to scuff them up so they wouldn't be slippery earls. And I wouldn't be busting my butt. All right. So screw that. I'm about that Payless life. I
Listen,
had no shame
you
in it.
went to
All right.
you went to Payless, Pick and Pay, or Woolworth.
Right. Facts. And we already dating ourselves. People like, Woolworths. I ain't never heard of
Woolworth,
Woolworths.
like that's that's diabolical right there. Like that's too
Diabolical.
long. That's too long ago.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we appreciate y'all coming out to hang out with us tonight. But
Who was the A's that got their shoes, bro?
unfortunately, we have reached the end of the show, and it's time for us to say goodbye. So long, farewell, au revoir, adios, arrivederci. But before we do that, please know you can locate Two Fat Guys Podcast at Two Fat Guys Podcast 99 YouTube channel. Okay. Let me do that again. So you can find us at Two Fat Guys Podcast Our YouTube channel is Two Fat Guys Podcast 99. TikTok, Two Fat Guys Podcast 99. Spotify, Two Fat Guys Podcast. Facebook, Two Fat Guys Podcast. Email address if you want to send any show suggestions or if you would like to be a guest on the show. You can reach us at two fat guys podcast 99 at gmail.com. And we are also on Lemon. We are on Lemon.
Lemon.
Lemon at Two
Lemon.
Fat Guys Podcast 99. Also, we are doing some things. We're gonna be riding out with you guys until the end of WrestleMania. So please be prepared after WrestleMania is over and we do our show. Dan and I are taking our spring break and we're gonna come back with season 3. I know not last week, week before last, I gave you a little tidbit. So I think I'm gonna just do that a little bit more when we said,
Oh,
what
boy.
if Professor X was able to walk again? That was one tidbit. We got another one.
Brian said, "Put me on that show."
We got another one.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What happens? Who would you recast in your favorite Marvel hero movie?
Why so slow?
Or in any movie that you find that you are fond of? Yeah, we're gonna be recasting. Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're gonna be
Oh
recasting.
boy.
Yeah, yo, you got nope, bro. That's it. That's what I'm giving you. That's what I'm giving you. Shush. Yeah, I told y'all, season 3 is gonna be crazy.
Two
All
fat
we gonna
guys
say is
will
for the
do.
most part,
and if it wasn't
Brian,
and in all truth,
Chris, check your mail soon.
yes, and
Check
all
your
truth be
Facebook
told,
soon.
it is for y'all. If it wasn't for y'all, we would not be going to a season 3. We would not keep trying to come up with ideas to keep you guys tuning in for an hour and a half to 2 hours on a Saturday and sometimes a Sunday. We appreciate. Am I that boring, Brian? Jesus, bro.
I'm fighting. I got a
No, I
headache.
got
I'm
it.
fighting a cold. Like,
All right, now we're about to get up off here, bro.
Being in the
Um,
community all day, now you tired.
but no, we thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We definitely appreciate you. Just real quick, couple comments. Courtney says, "Listen, Payless has some nice shoes. What's with the late night sex? It's not the sex. I'm gonna need y'all to stop saying that. Jesus.
yo, you did sound like a sex operator.
It was not.
It was.
But so with that being
Low key
said,
creepy.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all
I
ages,
am Kevin Gross.
Two Fat Guys Podcast wants you to do one thing. Tell a friend to tell a friend that is Two Fat Guys Podcast. Good night. God bless.
Good night.
Thank you.